I'm coming at you today with a deck profile for the purple film Shanks leader. Its ability is once per turn, you can -3 Dawn and give all of your film characters plus 3,000 attack for the turn. Okay, let's get things started. To kick it off, with our 1 cost, a 4 of a Buena Fiesta. Its ability is once on play, you can look at the top 5 of your deck, find 1 film card, and add it to your hand. It's also a good 2,000 counter. Moving on to our 2 cost. We got a 3 of Anne and a 4 of Korazumi. These are just your basic 2 cost vanilla blockers. That's about it. And then the last 2 cost is a 3 of Karina. She lets you once per turn, you can rest this character and trash 1 film card from your hand. If your opponent has more Dawn cards on the field, you can add 2 Dawn cards from your deck and rest them. That tends to happen more often than not because most of your cards, like your leader and things like your Utas, tend to subtract Dawn from your field. Now moving on to our 3 cost, we run a 2 of Hold'em. This is on KO. You can add a Dawn from your Dawn deck and rest it. A 3 of Jack. He's on play. You can add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active as long as you trash 1 card from your hand. And then we run a 4 of Sasaki. This is a 2k counter, but when attacking, you can trash 1 card from your hand and add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and rest it. Now moving on to our 4 cost, we run a 4 of Uta. This is one of the hearts and souls of the deck. It's a 4 cost, 5,000 blocker. When on block, you can -1 Dawn and rest one of your opponent's characters that costs 5 or less. And when you decide to pair that with the film event, it just makes her broken. And then moving on to the last 4 cost, we run 4 of Ain. And she's just another on play, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and rest it. Now moving on to the 5 cost, we run a 2 of X Drake, just a generic 2k counter. And then a 2 of Guild. His effect is when attacking, you can -2 Dawn and then draw 2 cards. Moving on to our 6, we run a 2 of Shiki. His ability is when you have 8 or more Dawn cards on your field, this card cannot be KO'd in battle, which is really good with everything that adds Dawn. Then we run a 2 of Zephyr. His ability is when you battle a strike character, he gains 3,000, and then once per turn you can -1 Dawn, and he gains 2,000. And then we run a 1 of the 7-drop King, and a 2 of Douglas Bullet. This guy's ability is once per turn, you can -4 Dawn and rest 2 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. Then this character gets double attack for the turn. And that'll do it for the characters. Moving on to the events, we run a 2 of Thunder Bagua, a 4 of Union Armada. This is a counter that when you activate it, one of your film characters or leader gains 4,000 power during the battle, and then they can't be KO during the turn. So when you decide to pair that with things, like I was saying earlier, like your Uta or your Sasaki, him who gets the when attacking ability, and then her on the unblock ability, it just makes their abilities recyclable. And then last but not least, a 2 of Lion Threat Imperial Earthbind. This is an activate main. You can -2 Dawn and KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Now, that'll do it for the Purple Shanks deck profile. And remember, y'all, the One Piece is real, and I'll see y'all at Laugh Tale.